So I am a civil and structural engineer who have had the pleasure of working in a consultancy firm, and afterwards moved to a site-based role on a substantial project, which was a factory in Naivasha, which was worth about 6 billion USD. And so it's a substantial project that allowed us to see the various scenarios that may happen in our smaller jobs. And so we've been looking at quality control and why it matters. We've looked at the materials, which now form part of concrete. We've looked at steel and what to look out for. And I think now we will look at the icing on the cake, which is why all this matters. And the first question that we should probably start analyzing is why we use concrete and steel together in our reinforced concrete buildings. And the reason why we use these materials together is because each has a weakness and a strength to it. So concrete, if you visualize it, concrete is very stiff, very hard, but very brittle at the same time. And this is the reason why we will see cracks on our concrete elements, because it is brittle. Steel, on the other hand, is very elastic. You can stretch it to a certain limit. Yeah, so that is the basic characteristics of those two materials. And before we now look at why these materials are used, let's look at the various typical use scenarios of our structures. So we will use this paper to represent our floors. This is our office buildings, our apartment blocks, our residential buildings, and let's assume that this floor is supported at the two ends. So if there is a weight or a load on this floor, so what will tend to happen is it will tend to bend because of the weight. Something that you might not really see from this paper, but it is there. At the bottom here, this area will be stretched. It will stretch out. On the upper part, it will tend to compress due to this bend. So that is a very important aspect